Hey guys, it's Kevin and welcome to another quick video where I show you a behind the scenes look of how I created this image. This image right here I've called Forgiveness, and you can see that there is one person who's been attacked, and they are forgiving and they are praying with the person who attacked them. So I really enjoyed creating this one, and I wanted to show you my process on doing this one. So this is the final image. Let me go ahead and click that off. This is what I started off with, and that's probably not what you expected. This is just a bunch of colors. I've got some greens and oranges, yellows and blacks, and just random paint strokes. That's all it is. There's nothing really going on here, but sometimes that's kind of how I start, and this is kind of what I want the color fill to be, just random brush strokes. Is really all that's going on here. But once I have like the idea of the kind of colors that I want to go, then I can start adding the elements to the scene. So the first thing I added was, of course, the models here, and so this is actually just one person. It is my wife who modeled for this picture. There's one picture of her sitting down and sad, and there's another picture of her kneeling over and praying, and I just composited both of them together. And the reason I did two pictures of two women here is just because I didn't want to do a man and a woman here, because I thought that might be a little bit it might be interpreted differently, like if it was like an abusive relationship or something like that. So I wanted to make it look more like two peers, two friends, two family members who are forgiving each other. And so that's kind of what I wanted to do with having two different women here. But once I've got the women inside of the picture, I wanted to obviously have to put them on something. They can't be floating in space. And so I put a little picture of a ground here. That's just a rocky, like a little ledge of a mountain here. And that's what they're going to be on top of. The background will be mostly sky. And so I needed to add some shadows under them. So I just added some little black shadows that went right under their feet. And so that would to make it look like they blend to the scene. And then I made the rocks a little bit darker, and so that matches the light just a little bit better. But then I also wanted to work on the sky behind them. I don't like all those paint strokes. That's, it looks abstract, it looks cool, but that's not what I wanted for the background. So I added some clouds that I have in my own portfolio and just kind of brought those in there, added some different lights, and just tried to make the background just to look a little bit more interesting. I still wanted to keep those original colors, those greens and reds and dark colors. So I just kind of did some overlays. So I wanted that same feel of those colors, but I did want to have some more, photographic elements here. I also added a bow to the image. So I put a little bow behind this person right here. This is just a drawing that I used with the pen tool. I just looked at a bunch of pictures of bows on Google essentially, and just drew, it looks kind of rough actually. I just drew a real quick shape of a bow and then added just a few little highlights on it. But that's all I've got for them. Added some dust behind them, and that's going to really work out later once we do some color grading. But then after that, it's really just a lot of blending. So the models here, they look, they don't look like they belong too well. So I had to make them a lot darker. So I added some levels adjustments to them, added some more darkness and some little highlights that go on the edge. I even added a little bit of hair up here because the cutout was kind of rough. And so I just painted a few little hair follicles coming out here. And this is what I've got for them. They're very dark, and they're dark on purpose because I don't want really their faces to be noticeable. I want it to be more anonymous, and so you can connect with the picture better if they're more in silhouette. Now, after this point, we needed to add some arrows. I had created some arrows in Cinema 4D, designed those a while back, and so I just went ahead and added those right into her back, essentially, and then I wanted to add some shadows underneath them, so you can see the little shadows in there as well. And then we just needed to make the darkness of the arrows just a little bit to match the scene better. So here's just a little bit more of highlights that added on there. Now, once I get to this point, and this is actually, you could consider this a finished picture if you wanted to, if you like how this looks. But I wanted to experiment with some different colors, and so you can see I've got a folder right here of all these different colors that I added to the scene. So I'm just going to click on those one at a time. And you can see I'm just bringing in a lot of vibrant colors because I wanted this to be a very bright picture. Even though they're mostly silhouette, I still wanted it to be very bright and have some glows that are going right here. This is kind of like where the sunset is at, and just really amp up these different colors. And so I've got all different kinds of blend modes in here. I've got a divide blend mode, an overlay, and screen, and they're just all working together to make some really interesting colors here. So here's before and after. I mean, that looks pretty cool right there. I like the silhouette, but I like the colors as well. And then after I've got all the colors in there, then I did some color grading. And so I tried even more little adjustments on our color grade, you know, making the contrast more, also making the brightness, you know, the sky made the sky a little bit brighter, and then also played around with my vibrance a little bit. And finally, I did a little bit of sharpening towards the end, and that's pretty much what I've got. And so here's before and after with that color grade. It's just adding a little bit of contrast in different scenes and some sharpness as well. But that's how I created this image, and a really fun project to do. Hopefully it had some deep meaning for you personally about forgiving those who have attacked you or hurt you. And so I just wanted to give you a little behind the scenes look on how I created this image, and hopefully that'll inspire you to create your own really cool images as well. But that's all I got for this video today, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon at the next video. Thanks, guys.